determined to dress your neckline or your décolleté. It's the most important real estate on a woman's body when it comes to jewelry. You don't need lots of pendants, you just need a couple of amazing
has such a
pendants.
presence.
And I want you, when you get your Ammolite at home, don't tell anybody you got it.
Okay.
Just wear it.
And
you're going to experience the excuse me factor by strangers as well.
Yeah.
Excuse me, but oh my gosh, that is so beautiful. What is it?
Honestly, even just preparing for this hour, I was so laser focused on learning more about this because it is truly unique. I mean, it's more rare than a diamond, which is super special. I do want to talk about our hot deal. It has been so extremely popular and for good reason. Again, hand cut, hand polished, these are all hand set, but TrilliantCut in any other gemstone is a feat. But to be able to do that in Ammolite, to capture that full spectrum of color, look at the rarest of rare, those blues, and look, even into the violet, to have that full spectrum. And then are those facets?
They are facets.
How in the world? How in the world? I mean, what a labor of hopefully love.
It is love.
But a bypass design, which we do love in a ring. It gives you that negative space. It's really elegant on the finger. We have this in the silver or in the gold. Sizes 5 through 10, I believe we still have all sizes left. And this is a hot deal, so $50 on FlexPay would get this home.
Well, I'm gonna say in the real world of jewelry, this is not just a hot deal, this is an on fire, super hot deal because a ring of this quality, in most of the galleries and markets that I have grown up in, over $1,000. And I know it sounds like
I believe it.
I mean, this is, but that's what this is.
You're not finding this in the shopping mall.
And so from me to you, to all of your wonderful viewers, you know, often there's 8 or 10 hands that are involved in creating and bringing jewelry to you. So this is fantastic, and I love working with the exotic shapes. I mean, ovals and rounds, they're a staple, but I like to make things that are interesting, that are different, that are gonna make you feel special. And I mean, honestly, this ring, you put it on your finger, you're never gonna wanna take it off. I'm practical as well. A bypass ring, for those of you that have never had one, will give you the opportunity, if your fingers maybe swell due to weather, if you have some arthritis or any sort of issues, you know, maybe you're not a perfect 6 or a perfect 7, maybe you're a 7 and a little bit or a little less. A bypass ring has some real flexibility to it. And what I say is, get this ring home, put it on your hand, don't tell anybody that you got a new piece of jewelry, not one. And just wait and watch how many people, when they see you, immediately say, excuse me, oh my gosh, what are you wearing?
What is it? Look at the gold. So recently you've been bringing us more in the gold tone setting, which I feel like really elevates the look as well. It has a certain warmth to it. And it really brings out the greens and the yellows as well.
I agree, and I am a real big gold fan. My wife is a white gold fan, so who's to argue? We do both and give you that option. But no, there's the different colors of metal definitely, you know, the silver plays to the blues and the violets. The gold plays to the reds, the greens, and the golds. And remember, we just got to keep reminding you, this is our D flawless quality. This is AAA grade. There are no upgrades.
Look at how it changes as you move.
It's performance jewelry. And when you're, you know, in the light, whether it be soft light, dark light, sunlight, it's always going to look different. There is a real personality and elegance to this ring that no other gemstone. I made the mistake once of saying in Australia, black opal only wishes they had the colors that Ammolite has. And they looked at me and said, you know, that's our national gemstone.
You're like, I'll see myself out.
Yeah, thank you very much. I'll just take the foot out of my mouth.
Oh my goodness.
But really, I mean, an opal of this color, which really doesn't exist, would be in the tens of thousands of dollars.
Right. And, you know, clearly we are mesmerized by its beauty. I love the design of this. On the value side of things, we are, first of all, $100 off of what our typical price point would be. You're hearing Ken talk about what comparable retail value would be out in the real world.
Yep.
So we get to take advantage of a very special relationship. We're able to work directly with you. We work more in personal relationships. There's no middle person here. We can bring it directly to you, albeit in smaller quantities. That's just the nature of this gemstone in and of itself. There is not 10 million of them to go around. It's not coming down a line in a factory.
No.
I mean, what is the process from finding this in the earth to bringing it to us
So
on
I've
TV?
asked them, we showed a little clip of the Discovery Channel video, and I'm hoping that we're going to get to see it again because
they did a documentary.
Right, and I'm in the documentary. So,
That's amazing.
So I'm going to take you to Canada, and I'm going to take you to the just the foothills of the Rocky Mountains, which is where I live. It's my home. This is the only place on Earth where ammolite comes from. Now, even though we dig with excavation equipment, you know, to the depths of 30, 40, 50 feet, once we get to that, we do it all by hand because because it is so rare. Look at how beautiful it looks just coming out of the ground. Now we're going to pour some water on this.
Okay.
And you're going to see this is the color. 71 million years in the making. You know, it was one of the proudest moments of my life. Hand cut, hand polished, hand set, meticulous attention to detail. Every single ammolite stone is as unique as the person wearing it. It's like a fingerprint. Now, one of the things we've always been proud of is we also reclaim the land so that you don't even know that we were there. There are natural grasses growing in these mines that hadn't grown there for hundreds of years. So it is a meticulous attention to detail of one of the rarest stones. You know, the one thing as I get a little older, you know, besides my children, this is my legacy. And when I put my name to this collection, it wasn't for ego. It was to remind myself that every day I wanted to get up and deliver the best of the very best, something that I would personally, and my children would personally, be proud of seeing as the years go on. And there's just no better way. And I don't like to talk about price, but what I have to tell you, HSN, you know, because of your reach and frequency, I guess, to be able to sell this for $249 in my world of jewelry, this is between $750 and $1,000. And if you get into some of the tourist markets, probably more than that.
Think about that for just a moment. And it's completely exclusive here.
Exclusive, exactly.
And so you are out there wearing true art, touched by hands, designed by the man sitting right next to me. So, I mean, you are getting a real, it's almost like a living piece of art. I love what you said. It's performance jewelry.
It really
because it moves and it dances. And the reason I move it around so much is depending on how the light catches it, that's the spectrum of color you get treated to in that moment.
Look at that. Look at the change.
From fiery red, watch this, beautiful greens. It almost turned purple. I mean, it is mesmerizing. You don't have a piece of jewelry like this in your box. And if you do, what a treat and what a blessing. I mean, it makes you feel alive, honestly. It's so beautiful. You will be aware of it while you wear it, not because it's hard to wear or it's uncomfortable, just the presence. It almost has a buzz about it.
It really does.
I mean, it's truly unique, and you're loving the gold. We have the gold option, we have the silver option. Sizing-wise, 5 through 10. Ken, I love what you're saying about a bypass style. It does give you a little bit more wiggle room, in a sense.
And it's interesting on the finger, like, and
you
I
can
love
wear
the
it
word,
either way too. See how
for
it's
sure.
got it both ways.
There's no right or wrong way. I love things that are interesting because that's what catches your eye. That's what makes you different. You know, there's stores that we all are shopping in for all the same things, and you know, as the world gets smaller, it becomes difficult to find those, you know, extra special pieces that are going to set you apart. And I just have to stress, you know, if you do your research and homework, there isn't a ring, this ring or anything like it in the world at $249. Like this really, even for me, sometimes takes my breath away with what HSN can really do.
Yeah.
Because this is, like I said to you, and I'm not exaggerating, regular retail in most places where I deal, $800 to $1,000.
And then TrilliantCut, can you kind of educate us a little bit on that and the decision to do that with Ammolite? That could not have been easy to capture the full spectrum.
No, it's not. And actually, the Trilliant is one of the most difficult cuts to do because it has to be perfectly symmetrical. And when you're cutting by hand, you're not cutting by a machine.
Oh, gosh.
It really takes a little extra care and attention. But again, I love the exotic shapes. But the exotic shapes, again, are more expensive to produce. They take more time to produce, which is why we don't see them often. But they're extraordinary, they're interesting, they're beautiful. They are, you know, for me, I think that they're strong and bold and beautiful. And, you know, as a father of 2 daughters, you know, that's exactly who I want them to be.
I love that.
You know,
and that makes
strong
this a
and
great
bold.
Absolutely.
Oh, for sure.
I mean, you know, we have earrings that have that gorgeous white topaz up at the post, and then you still have that same beautiful TrilliantCut. Let me move my hair a little bit for you. Wouldn't that be a fabulous gift idea? You don't need to know their size.
Agreed. And I was just going to say, like, I know that we all love our stud earrings. So this is not a long dangle. This is flirty. And the reason, so it's almost like a stud, right? It's really close and nuzzled up to the earlobe. But why I do this is because I want, as it moves, watch it play. You know, a stud's not going to do that as well as what this is doing.
Look at the color change.
It's flirty, it's beautiful, it's interesting, it's so affordable. And you know, the reason I'm so confident saying this to you live on television is that at the end of the day, you're going to be the judge. You're going to put them in and you're going to decide for yourself. But what I would say is don't tell anybody that you got a new piece of jewelry.
Just wear it.
Wear it for a week.
Just wear it.
And just watch how many people stop and go, excuse me. That is beautiful.
Like, and they make me happy. Like, I think it's just the brilliance of it. It almost has that, like, it just draws you in.
Well, think about sunsets. Think about rainbows.
Yeah.
Right. We're always like looking at, you know, where I live, we look at the northern lights. I mean, these are phenomenons, and Ammolite is the closest thing to capturing those phenomenons.
And this is
there's no human intervention.
Right.
No, there's no
this is how it is in Mother Nature.
There is no treatment.
To you.
That's why I wanted to show the video. 71 million years in the making. From start to finish, the deposit will be exhausted in 100 years.
So in terms of quality, if someone's just learning about Ammolite, and let's say they hop online and they're like, I can find something else out there, how do your designs and your pieces set themselves apart from what you might find on a website, if it's even real?
So again, I'm one of the founders of Ammolite. Okay, that brought Ammolite to the world. So, you know, I say this humbly but very proudly, one of the world's leading experts. There are 5 qualities in Ammolite.
Okay.
And just like all other gemstones, there's different qualities and different grades. So what I'm saying to you, and that's why I keep pushing and reminding everybody, this is flawless. This is the finest Ammolite in the world. You can't get a better quality. You can get 4 qualities less than this. 50% of it is just green.
That's what I was going to ask. If the quality is lesser, what do we see visually then? You don't get as big of a range,
Well, you won't see, and it's not just the range of color, but it's also the intensity of the color. So if you go to an opal, it's really kind of a similar grading system.
Yeah.
But to get blue and violet, all the colors of the spectrum of the rainbow with the intensity, this is, like I said, less than 10% of the world's supply is of this quality.
It's not cloudy, it is clear, it is